Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, we're going back to Section 8, which we had to do early this afternoon because right as I was getting ready to film this, and I had just finished pre-recording a video in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, the mother of all severe thunderstorms decided to hit. Now, we didn't have any tornadoes, but what we did have was 80 miles per hour winds, which took our second gigantic tree that's out there by the mailboxes and pulled it out by its roots. So now, what was almost like like a little tunnel there towards near where the mailboxes were. There used to be some really cool shade that looked gorgeous during the fall. There's now a whole bunch of nothing, but we survived. The cats survived. I managed to survive. So we're gonna go ahead and get this Section 8 taken care of now, since we couldn't get to it yesterday before the power went out. Oh my god, I never realized just how addicted I am to internet and TV than yesterday when that tree literally took out power lines. And I spent from about around 5:30 my time all the way, until about around 9 o'clock this morning without power. But yeah, not fun at all. But brief disclaimers, everything we go through in regards to this Section 8 series, you're going to find all the links and sources for information right there in the description box. So should you ever like to do a deep dive in regards to HUD and Section 8, and also learn why our current GOP has decided to take a chainsaw through very important federal funds that help subsidize these programs and make people, a little less homeless, it's going to be right inside the description box for you. And trigger warnings, folks, we do have the channel marked not for kids for a reason. First off, we use profanity. I curse like a sailor. I am an army brat, and I'm also someone whose stepdad helped raise me from the age of 6, who's also that person that was in the army, as well as my brother and several other family members. So, we do use profanity, and also we do cover some darker topics such as the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. So if you have a child that is 16 years old or younger, parental supervision is very much advised. So, like last Sunday, I promised you we are going ahead and moving to rental assistance for specific groups. So, this is for people who are veterans, people who have developmental disabilities, people who are seniors. So, we are going to go over this here. If you are a veteran, have a disability, or are a senior, you may qualify for rental assistance. Learn about government-backed rental assistance programs and how to apply. Get rental assistance for veterans. You see, GOP, you can't sit here on one end and try to browbeat everyone in regards to how you're the only one sticking up for the armed forces in that botched attempt out in Iran, and scream that on one hand, and then on the flip side, you are trying to push a gigantic bill currently through Senate that is going to make substantial cuts into programs like HUD, like Medicaid, like the VA, that requires federal funding to help keep those programs afloat so that they can actually assist the very veterans whose livelihoods depend on those programs. Now, literally, several years ago, you had Five Finger Death Punch put out a video called The Wrong Side of Heaven, literally talking about the issues with veterans, the ability for them to be able to get off the streets, help them not be homeless, help them get into job programs, help provide them the mental health care they may very desperately need due to post-traumatic stress or any other possible issues. You can't say that you stand for the troops and act like you are a big defender of their honor when on the other hand you are pulling away what you hope to be billions of dollars out of the programs that are used to help those said veterans stay afloat and stay alive. Okay? Because you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth there. And if you're sitting there saying, well, why don't you support the troops? I have a question, GOP. Why don't you? Why don't you support our troops? Why do you insist on taking billions of dollars out of programs that literally have saved the lives of multitudes of veterans? Why aren't you taking money out of programs like HUD that actually work to help keep our veterans off the streets? Why are you taking billions of dollars out of programs like Medicare and Medicaid that help cover health care for veterans? Some who have been injured while in combat, who use those resources to be able to have those injuries treated that they received while fighting for your. Because you see, you can't beat your chest and say, well, if you stand against Trump, you don't support our troops. When Trump's administration is the one that wants to rob all these programs that help all these soldiers blind. Okay? If you do that, you're a hypocrite. There's no ways, ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you support taking billions of dollars out of the programs most used by veterans, you don't give a shit about veterans. You don't give a shit about our current troops. You don't give a shit about the programs that have been utilized to keep them alive. And you sure as hell don't care to improve the situation for them at all. Because it is already subpar. You already had an increasing number of veterans homeless and out on the streets. And instead of actually getting more funding to veterans who desperately need the help, you want to take more money out of it. Sorry, not sorry. There's a reason why I'm angry on multiple fronts here. But anyways, before I take you too much further into left field, let's continue on. Now, the links that they provide for people who need help with rental assistance now, while you still can, you'll find the link for what we're going over here in the description box for you, okay? Supportive Services for Veteran Families, also known as SSVF, may be able to help you and your family avoid eviction and stay in your current home, find new, more suitable housing, or rapidly get rehoused if you're experiencing homelessness. Find out if you are eligible for SSVF, and we're going to go over this here real quick. To qualify, you must be a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces or live in a family headed by a veteran or their spouse. have a very low income, and be imminently at risk of becoming homeless. And usually they do require such things as a paper eviction notice for you to show in regards to that sort of assistance. Of course, how do you apply? This is right here, National Call Center for Homeless Veterans. Use it while you still can, because I know they're looking to get that shut down too, among other things. Actually, I'm not sure on that one. I know something that's a national call center is getting ready to close down. I thought it might be for the homeless veterans. I'm not 100% on that. Probably wrong, but let's think about it here. That's the environment we live in now. Rental assistance for people under age 62 with disabilities, or as I like to say, those of us who are developmentally disabled. It's not horrific to call us disabled. We, in fact, have stated this preference on multiple occasions that a good majority of us like to be called disabled. So, unless the individual tells you otherwise, is it so difficult for people to use the labels that people have politely asked of you? My God. Sorry. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a mood today. So, if you are under age 62, you have a disability, you may qualify for a non-elderly NED voucher. It can help you find and pay for affordable private rental housing. For example, what that would look like is a couple of things. It can either, A, you are currently inside an apartment at the moment, and you are desperately needing assistance with your rent. That's one of the areas it can do it for. Or, similar to the other program I told you about, you might find where you have HUD-friendly landlords that are willing to accept Section 8 funding in spite of being privately owned entities. There's a few places out here in town that are like that I know of. I know for the older folks back here, kind of almost in our backyard for the Lancelot, I know that they have that sort of program going on. There is, I think it's called, the Three Seasons, not the hotel. It's actually a 55 and older apartment community that is up towards, Food for Less, the old Food for Less area. And they are privately owned, but they accept vouchers for people with developmental disabilities and things of that nature, or accept elderly assistant help as well. Places like the Frisco building, that place where I let you guys know I was able to get my aunt into, I know they take it. There's a few other places as well, so that you can come in there if you're trying to get off the street, trying to get off being homeless. This voucher assists in getting you to those friendly landlords, so that they will accept that portion of the rent from HUD, and you can cover the other part as you're able to. So, to qualify for NED, be the head spouse or co-head of a family, be under age 62, have a disability, meet other NED eligibility requirements based on your income and where you live, which we've already gone over. Those are the exact same guidelines that are used for Social Security and Medicaid out here. How to apply for an NED voucher. Look up and contact your local public housing agency. You can learn about your eligibility for a NED voucher and apply for other housing help, or call the Public and Indian Housing Information Resource Center, and they give you all of that. Now, you'll see here, all of these are the other programs that we have already gone over. And they also provide a link for other government programs to help you pay rent and basic utilities. Now, those other government programs are the ones that, in particular, our current GOP likes to hammer on, because these are individuals who don't understand the concept that those programs are not being funded by Medicaid. Those programs are funded through local, state government programs that are unaffiliated with Medicaid, but individuals who work in Medicaid know about those other state programs so that they will be able to guide individuals who may not necessarily qualify for those to get into the other state-run programs. But because the GOP has confused the two, we are now going to be removing some of the federal funding to punish states, apparently, for helping those who are the more vulnerable in regards to rent and housing, for so-called using funding for undocumented immigrants, when the fact of the matter is you cannot get into these programs if you're an undocumented immigrant, but you can get into state programs that can assist you that are not subsidized by the federal government. Essentially, they are punishing states for being generous. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine our federal government, the overreach? You want to sit here and lecture me about conservatism, and then you want to use federal overreach to punish states for using their own funding to assist our most vulnerable that has absolutely zero to do with any form of federal funding whatsoever. Can somebody please explain it to me in a way that makes some form of coherent sense? Because I've about had it with the stupid here. But anyway, so these are the programs used specifically when dealing with private landlords. Those vouchers are used for them so that HUD can pay a portion of your rent directly to your landlord, and then you are obligated to come up with the rest as per whatever agreement is able to be worked out. And these are the requirements and the ways it links to be able to apply for those in case you need somebody who needs them. So as you can see, just like Medicaid, they're dealing with funds that help our most vulnerable. And this is what they want to cut to fund billionaires. Stuff that helps out regular people. Golden age my ass. It's more like I woke up one day and realized I was middle-aged and living in the ninth circle of Dante Alighieri's hell. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out for this one this afternoon, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and as always, folks, please don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do. Hope you have a good one. I will see you all later. Bye-bye, everyone.